There are new revelations about the investigation into actor Matthew Perry's death. His personal assistant, two doctors, and an alleged dealer known as the Ketamine Queen are among 5 people now charged in connection with his death. U.S. federal prosecutors said their investigation uncovered a broad criminal network that supplied ketamine to Perry and others. They say the accused took advantage of his addiction issues to enrich themselves. And this story obviously making headlines around the world right now. It's also open to debate on the use of ketamine. So to talk about this, let's bring in Dr. Venkat Bhatt, director of psychiatry program at St. Michael's Hospital, also the associated professor at the University of Toronto. Good morning, doctor. This story, so many people are paying attention to this. They have a lot of questions, and there's obviously a lot we still don't know here. But maybe we could start by backing up a bit and explain what ketamine is and what it's typically used for.
Good morning. Ketamine is an anesthetic agent. It has been used in anesthesia since the 1960s. Its impact in terms of depression is more over the last 1 to 2 decades, and its impact in depression is really at low doses, at sub-anesthetic doses. So it's a general anesthetic agent at low doses used for pain, and at higher doses it causes loss of consciousness.
And when it comes to the use of people who are suffering from depression, how common is that? And when would a physician suggest that sort of treatment for someone?
So it is approved, the intranasal version. So ketamine can be administered through different routes, intranasal, sublingual, intravenous. It's approved for treatment-resistant depression through the intranasal route. Through the intravenous route as well, it is given for treatment-resistant depression. For a number of other indications, it's being actively researched, but the clinical indication where we have evidence is really treatment-resistant depression. So by that, I mean people who have failed a number of other existing medication treatments out there. It could be medication, psychotherapy, or other treatments out there.
So when it comes to St. Michael's, I understand there's a pilot underway where you're looking at different options to help treat depression in people. It's ketamine infusion. Can you talk about how that works, how it's going so far?
So I'm the director of the interventional psychiatry program at St. Michael's Hospital, and we've been working with anesthesia at our hospital. With intravenous ketamine, it is given at sub-anesthetic doses. It is given over 40 minutes, and patients are evaluated for treatment-resistant depression and whether they meet criteria. It's under strict observed conditions, and people get the infusions at the hospital, and then they go back. It's also a standard course of treatments. People receive 4 to 6 treatments twice per week. That's as per the current evidence.
So with the new development involving Matthew Perry, the fact that doctors have been charged, the fact that other people who managed to get their hands on this drug, and the belief is by the police they were selling it to Matthew Perry and other individuals, what kind of steps are taken to ensure that a drug this powerful doesn't get into the wrong hands?
So ketamine is a controlled substance, under the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act. It's a Schedule I drug, which means that, the possession, sale, or production of ketamine is actually illegal unless it is for medicals or industrial or scientific purposes. So ketamine has to be administered under medical supervision. It is not to be, given as a prescription, which can be self-administered. So there are clear safety requirements under use of ketamine, for use of ketamine.
Well, Dr. Bhatt, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us this morning and for providing all of this information on this, given, the headlines that we're seeing associated with this story. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.